Well, some things are definitely doing better than others. These little pots here are the ones where we sowed some dwarf French beans. And so far, not one has come up. The peas are doing alright. But every single one of these has not germinated so far. It could be that it's been a bit cold because I left them outside, or they're old seeds. But I can soon get a fresh pack. Apart from growing dwarf varieties in containers, I'm also going to grow some full-size French beans because I bought something last year to accommodate things like that, and I think you'll probably remember. So I've got some of these beans, and as you can see, they're in quite big cells, so they've been multi-sown. So there's around 3 or 4 plants in each pack. And these ones are full-size French beans, and they're called Blue Lake. For these climbing French beans, I'm going to put them in this container. It's not a huge container, but I think it's big enough. But the main part is this. That's an obelisk that we bought last year, and it were only £10. It's quite tall, so that's perfect for these beans to climb up. But better than that, it fits perfectly over the top of this container. So that's quite an easy job for us to do this morning. I'll fill it with compost, we'll get some of these beans in, and we'll get them on the way. So, as always, part filled this container, and I'm adding fish blood and bone to it. And we'll mix that up, and then fill this container up. Just levelling this out, as I always do. I'm sure you're used to that by now. Take these out and see what they're like. Since there's quite a few in one cell, there could be a little root bound, but we'll soon find that out. And you can see there that the roots are definitely gathering themselves up, so we need to separate those off and make them loose again. And for that reason, I'm only going to put 3 in this container, because the roots grow really fast on these plants, so I want to give every single plant a good chance. So in and firm and go again. Same with this one, so a quick loosening, plant them in nice and deep and firm. Don't plant them any deeper than what they originally were though, and then we'll do it there as well. Pretty consistent with this root. So we'll get those in, and that's this container set up as quick as that. And we've got another 3 plants left, so I might do 2 of these. And for now, I'm going to put it here, just in case those winds get back up, because I can tie wrap that obelisk to this, and then it won't fall over. And it's as easy as that. We can now grow full-size French bean plants in quite small containers. We just need to give them that little bit of extra support. And if you haven't got one of those obelisks, just use canes. So another really nice addition to this caravan container garden. And since we've got 3 plants left, I'll probably set up another one exactly the same, because I have got 2 or 3 of those obelisks. But there is one thing that you need to think about, and that is frost. French beans are not cold hardy at all. We've got 2 big sheds on the back of this van, So if we get any frost warnings, then I'll just remove that obelisk and then put the container in there until it's passed. And the only reason I've planted those at this stage of year is because in this area, as last frost date is the end of April. So for some areas it might be a little bit too soon, but that doesn't stop you planting some seeds and getting some on go. Hopefully the seeds that we've planted are going to work eventually, and they're dwarf ones, so they don't grow very tall at all. So they can go in smaller containers. And the best thing about it is they produce lots and lots of beans all the way through the year, and you can blanch and freeze them. And even when you get to autumn, you're going to have a steady supply of fresh, homegrown French beans. And while we're on the subject of plants that are not frost hardy, there's another one that's definitely also worth mentioning. And that is cucumbers. Don't sow the seeds for these too early, because if you do, and you put them outside and they get hit by frost, these plants will just die. And it's not only the frost that's threatening to cucumbers, also cold winds. I grew some quite a few years ago and I put them in the greenhouse, so I thought they'd be perfectly fine. But we had a bit of a windstorm that night and one of the panes of glass of the greenhouse got knocked out. So this cool wind was coming in to the greenhouse over the top of these cucumbers. And when I went out the next day, every single one had fallen over. And the problem with that is, if your cucumber gets hit by a cold, even just a cold wind, and it falls over, it will not get back up. It will just die. So the best time to start taking your plants outside as far as cucumbers go is probably mid-May. So again, if you're in a colder climate, don't plant these too soon. You can start them off now and just keep them indoors and they'll be perfectly fine. Put them on a sunny window so they are getting the amount of light that they need, but don't put them outside, because there's always a chance that you'll forget that you've put them even in a propagator, and if it gets too cold at night, which it can do in certain areas, those plants won't live. So that is something to definitely think about. And the next thing to definitely think about is, while we're getting these temperatures of 18 and 19 degrees, also make sure you look after yourself as well. So I've got my hat ready for hopefully more and more of these sunny days, but you don't want to get sunburnt and make yourself ill when we could be spending so much more time outdoors, starting off as container gardens. Anyway, thank you so much for being part of this channel. I really appreciate it. And I just need to mention that I've had quite a lot of messages over a couple of days and I've not been able to answer a lot of them. And that's because I've got a problem with the keyboard. The keys keep sticking, so it makes it very awkward. So I'm going to get a new keyboard, and as soon as I sort that out, I'll get back onto those comments and answer all those questions. Because if we work together as a community, even if you're only a new gardener, I'm sure you're going to be really happy with the results that you're going to get, even if it is your first time growing. Anyway, take care, enjoy the weekend, and if you want to see more videos over the next coming week, please hit that subscribe button and press that notifications bell, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.